The culture is it's a little similar to over here. I think over in America there's a little bit more styles based around the Melbourne style shuffle, and there's of course equally a amount of shapers too, but I think like those equal each other out within the style, and I think the culture itself. I mean, there's tons of raves there that people still go to. The scene, I think. I was speaking to another American earlier who's here. We agree that the culture right now is kind of in like a lull. That's why we love coming over here, because it's really it's on an upswing. I would say over here in America it's kind of on a downswing. A lot of people have stopped dancing, have stopped going to shows and such. But of course, there's the true to heart people that are still attending and still going to meetups and still going to competitions. Still active, but not nearly as active as this community on this side of the world, for sure.
It's been incredible. Like, I'm just going to talk personally about my own story and the culture that I have experienced when I first began shuffling. Obviously, when I first started, I was one of those social media shufflers where I found it through TikTok and I was like super inspired. Thought it was incredible and didn't even know anyone else in the UK was actually doing it until I discovered a few people through social media where I started to connect with them and travel to different places like Leeds down south to London, where I met Cassidy and Dots, Mr. Shapes. And only then did I realize I had an active UK shuffle dance community through Cassidy, Dots, Mr. Shapes, and I started dancing with those guys. Fast forward a few years and UK kind of blew up a little bit because workshops started taking place. You started seeing more people posting through social media. There were more meetups happening in places like Birmingham, Scotland, Manchester. I started teaching classes in Manchester where a community then formed. One of my students actually from my class took over my classes when I left the UK to go and pursue my passion in Portugal. So now currently in the UK you've got these pockets all around from way down south up to Scotland are people actively shuffling, and it's really unique because no one has the same style. It's a mix of, for example, everyone knows Dots Brown here, yes? Dots Brown? Yay!
Where is he?
So, that's a very good question. But Dots, yeah, as you guys know, has its own personal style, right? It's like crib walk, but with shapes. It's insanely fast. Then you've got people that only cut shapes. You've got a hybrid of shuffling shapes. You've got hip hop mixed with cutting shapes. You've got Melbourne style, Melbourne and cutting shapes. So this is the thing about the UK, is that we're all so unique, but it's really cool when we come together and dance, and I can see the community is growing year by year, and it's really quite incredible. So UK.
So I start with the same question you did to them, like what's the shuffle culture in Canary Islands? Actually, there is no shuffling of cotton shapes culture there, but we are sorry. Okay. But we are running a new studio there, and there are more than 20 kids learning cotton shape, shuffling, hip hop, waving, robot, different styles. So yeah, that's actually what is happening there in the Canary Islands. I remember in the past there were some shapers there, but they are not dancing anymore. I don't know, after COVID everything just changed a little bit, but yeah, that's the culture, what we are doing there as a community. You know, we are 8 different islands, so it's very hard sometimes to meet each other in the different islands, and actually EDM, electronic dance music, is not it's not the most popular thing there. I mean, reggaeton and all these genres of music are more like developed there, but that's the culture and communities there. And when we talk about shuffling, I would like to maybe answer a question in your brain, whatever. Yes. And what is shuffle as a dance style in your head? I don't know if somebody wants to say something.
Hello. Oh wow, that's very loud. So a question first. What I could classify as shuffle for me, when we take the word shuffle. So, for example, you shuffle cards. Like, for me, shuffle begins by this word. You can mix everything, which means you can mix every style in your shuffle. But don't forget the foundations. Don't forget the fundamentals of the dance, because if you don't have the fundamentals and you want to combine whatever you want, then you have like a pizza without dough, you know. So it doesn't make sense for me, for you. And I would say it begins with patterns. So what we classify as shuffle is what we have right now on the internet, what we saw on music videos, for example. But the real definition of what is shuffle is very difficult to answer. And by the way, a small commercial if I can. I'm writing an ebook about shuffling, cutting shapes, and investigate the whole history of both of these dance styles. So if you are interested, we can talk.
Okay, but going back to the same question, what is shuffle as a dance style? Because shuffle, you know, we can explain shuffle to, you know, shuffle our feet, but as a dance style, what it is? I don't think it's that difficult to say what shuffle as a dance style is. Because we can, tell us, we can, if somebody dance shuffle here? Have you taught shuffle some in the past? Okay, maybe you can tell us what shuffle is as a dance style.
Well, first of all, I just want to say that defining shuffle can be something really hard, and I think we have to, as a community, try to come together and understand the different points of view and try to reach a conclusion in which we're all happy with the definition that's been given. And I'm not sure if I'm qualified, because I don't believe that any single person can point out, okay, this is shuffle, this is not shuffle. I think it's something that should be talked and reach a consensus in the community. I don't think there should be someone that it's like, okay, you have a really big level, you've been in the community for a lot of time, you have like the truth of what shuffle is. So I don't personally feel comfortable to say what is shuffle, what is not. I think we should create spaces and like this one to talk about it, to exchange opinions and try to reach a consensus, but not impose a definition, because I don't think anyone is going to agree on a like single definition of what shuffling as a dance is, because everyone is going to interpret it and feel it in a different way.
In Valencia, we started shuffling in 2011. Okay, with the the trend, Lumfao, party rock, everyone knows that, right? And then this generation, I don't know what happened with the generation, but a lot of people from the city start dancing, but combining shuffle with cutting shapes. In fact, here we have an example of this generation. Kid Alvaro is there. Have your hands, yeah. This is an OG, okay? It's an inspiration for me. And he's still dancing, okay? But in 2018, I start dancing, and the community in the community in Valencia, we are like 85 people. We are a lot. Where are these people? studying, working, the same in every community, I think. But in 2020, I think the same in every community. Many people stopped dancing, and it was really hard to keep dancing, keep shuffling, because many people has another plans. But now we are like almost 10 people dancing. And what is the goal of this speech? Is that I am not only I'm not the unique person in Valencia. We are people, and they are like a lot of more special for me, but more than special is that they are like really good dancers, and I know you know some of them. And the last thing, you have to come to Valencia. In fact, we have the best burger officially around the world, so you have to come. Best tortilla. Valencia is the best city in the world. No, but we are dancing almost every day, so you have to come, and if you plan to come, just tell me or anything, and we meet, training.
I wanted to ask the judges directly, what do you think is the actual problem of the education to the generations that we don't have this discussion for creating confusion?
We're hitting some bumps in the road in our community because we can't reach a mutual agreement on certain definitions. I think that it's blatantly obvious when we witness cutting shapes and we witness shuffling that they are two different things. I think it's a matter of, learning the history as well, not only just within our own country, but within the actual dance itself, the sources of them, where they came from. I think that's something that in our community, a lot of people don't seem to not necessarily just prioritize, but they almost deem it as maybe not important. And I've noticed in other dance communities and other dance genres such as krump and hip hop, history is absolutely vital to knowing how to do the dance. And so it's a matter of, like for instance, Ruko saying when he started, there was that era of party rock anthem, right? And every day I'm shuffling. Well, nothing in that video looked like cutting shapes to me in that shuffle video, right? From LMFAO. And so, to me, I believe that there needs to be a push on the history, and of course, more uncovering of the history, which we're already doing with, Shuffle Timeline, the ebook that you're writing and such. People are definitely taking more time into like diving into the history. I think that that's something that we really need to turn back to and look at and question so many people that were there, and then of course recognize what had happened and what everything that conspired and such, but reach a mutual agreement where we can agree on terminology and also direction, because I definitely believe that shuffling and cutting shapes are something that are like popping and locking, right? It's a style that are different, but they are always united within a community. And once again, I mean, in Arizona specifically, there's one-on-one hip-hop dance, like battles and such, but there's always like the styles in the battles where it's like 1v1 popping and 1v1 waving, right? Like, but it's all the same tournament. It's just a matter of distinguishing the difference of the style. And what that does, in my opinion, is it challenges the community. It challenges everybody to execute within a new frame and within new boundaries. And I personally believe that cutting shapes and Melbourne and shuffle, they just deserve their own individual attention for sure.
So what I've noticed, especially in the house dance community, so in Porto we've got a really good, rich culture of street dance when it comes to breaking, house, hip hop. And I've been a part of a few events helping out with their social media, so I've had the opportunity to watch these dances. And one thing you said with the culture, you can see it, like you're almost transported back into time with how they dress, how they move, how they connect to the music, and not even just to the music, how they connect to themselves. When I watch these house dancers move, I don't even see like the pari bourrée, they're just moving, in the most magnificent way I've ever seen in my life. And I think what that truly comes from is the culture. And what I felt is missing in our shuffle culture is more partying together, exchanging, actually not being afraid to go into the ring and just giving it a go and looking at someone and going, that was cool, I want to try that out, and passing that energy on, because the more we do that, the more we begin to write and create our culture. Because yes, looking back into history is great, but as we go on, we want to carry out that exchange, and we want to create and build that trust, that community where we are the culture and we live the culture, so that when we go into something like a cipher or a tournament, you can feel it, you can see it from years of exchanging and dancing together. And this is what I truly see in these tournaments when I'm watching hip hop or house, is that it's so strong and it's so there. They're dancing with each other, they're dancing together. It's such a mutual exchange and conversation that they're having on the dance floor, where I feel that's what we need to really start looking at.
We try to explain and to explain them to understand what cutting shapes is and what shuffle is. So in this moment, I think people around don't know what shuffle is and cutting shapes is. So I think it's important to understand both styles, and when we understand both styles, we can elevate our level because we know what we're doing. You know. So I would like to ask Audio, if you would like to answer, what shuffle as a dance style is for you?
For me, when I discovered shuffle in 2008, it was Melbourne Shuffle, and they danced, for me, I mean, it was harder music back then. I definitely love to dance to house music and such. The culture, it shifts and whatnot, but ultimately, shuffle dance back then, it came from, the T-step and rocking and such, and incorporated other foundational moves and into its foundation, and executed it differently to different music, of course, because you had to. And so for me, it was Melbourne Shuffle. That's what I discovered it as for shuffling. So.
Like, did you see somewhere that the foundation is about of shuffling? I mean, it's T-step, Running Man, and did you hear about crisscross in Charleston? Okay.
So basically, when I had discovered it and when I started watching, tutorials and such, like Big Milan, for instance, he had a tutorial back in the day that's really, really popular. And the lights are going crazy back here. Sorry, bro. And so when I learned the foundation, never learned crisscross, never learned the X step or whatever. I'm not sure. I'm honestly, I'm unfamiliar as well. So, when I learned the foundation, that's what I learned, and that's what I expanded on.
Okay. Would you like to?
In my case, I usually educate the people, my students, like I teach a step and I explain the origin of this step. I think the history is really boring, to say, because almost for everyone is bored. When people tell me the history of the Spain, I am sleeping, So the same for me. In my case, personally, with shuffle, I prefer to understand the history. At the same time, I am learning the style, and that's it. But I have the same question to one of my inspirations as a teacher. He's Sofa. So Sofa, come here, please, because you are for me the inspiration. You have a lot of students.
I'm good here, bro. That's not fine.
Okay, so hello, I'm Sofa. To be honest, I don't really wanna, join the conversation. I really wanna hear what the informations are, because right now I'm doing my research too. And one of the most important things that I'm teaching my students is that to do their own research. To do their own research about every dance style that they are doing, whether we are like talking about shuffle, cutting shapes, hip hop, breaking, and to go and dive into more dance styles and create your own dance style. But of course, if you're going to a hip hop competition, stick to the, to the roots, So for me to answer better your question about how I educate my students, is that I am educate myself at the moment, and every time I notice something new, every time I have like a new epiphany to say like this about dance, I just share my thing, and I will never say that, oh, this is shuffle, this is cutting shapes, this is that. I say that you have to do your own research. This is what we know for the moment, right now. But for me, right now we don't have something to say that, okay, this is 100% sure, Because the real truth is the last one answer to that question, if you understand this thing, okay? So yeah, basically do your own research, and I will say that again. And yeah, I was not prepared to answer questions, to be honest. Yeah, but that's my answer for the moment. Yeah.
It was really nice. It was something interesting. It was something new.